what are your thoughts on Omaha expanding? I mean, it kind of brings up tax issues. As we keep expanding, that takes a lot of infrastructure. Like you said, power lines, pavement, trash. Well, we outsource the trash here,
yeah.
but what are your thoughts? Is Omaha in a good position doing all this expansion? Our favorite word is district. We redo a block or a building, and it's the new Flatiron district or the new Blackstone district. We slap on district everywhere, but is that going to ever come back to hurt us, or should we keep building up? What are your thoughts on Omaha's current growth phase that we're in?
Well, there's a couple things that would cause me a bit of concern. In simple that the Industrial Revolution brought farmers into the city, and as we continue to tax the heck out of our farmers here in Nebraska, they're struggling as well. So I can see farmers continuing, the few that are out there, shutting down the farms, or unfortunately perhaps even going through bankruptcy, selling to commercial, and that's okay. But again, coming back into Omaha and metropolitan areas in order to find jobs for their family. And absolutely I could see that happening. The concern simply is just I love history. I love downtown. I love old buildings. I worked for .com, Douglas Omaha Technology Commission.
Okay.
And so we were in a building that they wanted to tear down to build the new juvenile correction facility.
Very highly contested issue.
18th and Harney. I love that building. It used to be a bank. So, you've got a large vault on the first ground floor. You can still see the tin ceilings. They've got a huge freight elevator, which they said Wells Fargo would take the old wagons and the early armored cars up to the 6th floor. I absolutely believe in redevelopment. I understand that you can build higher, bigger, newer technology is safer. It also has energy savings as well. But I just love that history, the nostalgia of it.
Right.
So Omaha is beautiful. I came from California, from Fresno. I moved to Nebraska in 1996, so I've definitely been adopted here to Nebraska. I don't want to live anywhere else.
It's good to hear.
Which, again, is another reason why I have to run and try to influence the government in the ways that I think our community wants. Our property taxes are crazy. Everybody agrees. Nobody's disagreeing with that. And that has a couple of effects. Is one, the retirees that can or technically can't afford to stay move out, and those also who can't afford to stay, also have to stay. My in-laws potentially could move out, but they have grandkids here. So one is I do want to help with property tax and help reduce that and make those financial decisions, to consider, well, do we spend the money now in $1968, or do we wait until 2040 when the prices are doubled or tripled to build these dam sites, these reservoirs or levees? Those are the tough decisions that have to be made, and I'm wanting to be one of those people who helps represent my community to make those decisions. But the second thing is I have kids, and kids are growing up, and at some point I want them to stay too. And so the NRD can help.
They gotta take care of you.
Recreational. Yeah, I know. That's what we do joke. It's like, all right, man, we're taxed out so much, so once I get it fixed, I'm going to rely on you for at least some sort of, maybe put me in the garage. Let's remodel the garage or something. Yeah, so I want the NRD with building these water retention areas like Zerensky. It does give the younger generation a place to, touch nature, to be in a spot kind of away from the hustle and bustle that we're so used to. And NRD can do both. I can help keep the grandparents here near the grandkids, and I can help my kids stay near to me. And I think families all across the county, all across the whole NRD, are faced with the same thing.
You touched on, we keep going back to tax dollars, but Omaha is really weird. I was just meeting with the client the other day, and they moved here also from California, but they're already looking to move to Phoenix. Like everyone from Omaha loves, everyone from Nebraska loves every place in Arizona. But they were saying when they moved here, they got a house way bigger than they needed because it was so much more affordable. I don't think it was Fresno. I forget where it was in California, but regardless, they go, it was way more affordable. They go, but we realized that was quickly offset by your guys' taxes here. Yes. And so it's just interesting that the taxes are, I don't know, Omaha is very well known for our low cost of living, our low standard of living, along with being a 20-minute city. But because things are so affordable here, people will kind of overextend and maybe buy a bigger house that they need or a more expensive car that they need, only then to get taxed way more than they anticipated. Then it kind of evens out. So that's just a fascinating thing that came up recently in my life that I saw, a real life example of the taxes.
Yeah, my family that still lives out in California could easily sell their house and come out here and buy close to next to a mansion. I mean, it is ridiculous. We got to help prevent that.
Yeah.
The absurdity of the real estate pricing out there. Again, keep our Western values, our Midwestern values. How much do we need? And it goes back to the Republic in the book by Plato. Now would be a great time for both parties of Douglas County, of Omaha City, to kind of sit together and be like, what do we really want? Because it isn't just about my party and it isn't just about my ideas. We do have to live together and work together.
Right.
And they have good ideas as well. It all needs to just come to the same table. Maybe in fact we need to be at a round table or eat together, break bread together to decide what do we need. Do we need 2 or 3 firemen? What else do we need? Can we as private citizens help help the climate in whatever ways we can? More buses, better cars, more motorcycles.
Yeah, what do you think about orbit?
It's needed. I don't like the legislative bill that came out that created a new transit authority, basically, between Sarpy and Douglas. I'm not sure why the two couldn't work together.
Oh, they did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's another new taxing authority. I kind of have mixed feelings.
Sure.
It's a necessity for some. I'm not saying that I want to give up, my car, but I'm seeing that in some points, maybe close in the future, that it's kind of crazy that I drive around a 2,000-pound vehicle for myself. Why cars haven't gotten smaller. Right. And of course we worry about, I don't want to be that small car against a Suburban or a Tahoe
truck,
or an F-150. And I understand that, but really, I think we do need to start deciding now. How we have it is how it had been created for us. How do we want to see it in the future?
Mm-hmm. Are you a proponent? So you said you love keeping Omaha beautiful, which it is. Like all the historic, essentially all downtown, especially the old market is amazing.
There's an energy down there. I love it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's so unique. It's an energy that you can't find in other downtowns. Most downtowns are not old brick buildings and brick streets. They've definitely been repaved, but definitely is a total different vibe. That brings about, though, a shift in, like you said, just kind of demographics and the whereabout people are living. It attracts more people away from the smaller towns and away from the farmers. And do you want to touch on that at all? I guess, do you like the redevelopment that's going on? Are you excited to see any one district in particular that you like going to, or?
Well, like
do you think it's a relief for property taxes too? Because my brain keeps thinking about that. Where as Omaha, sorry, totally cut you off, but as Omaha continues to expand further west, you get suburbs, right? You get replicated houses over and over, cookie cutter houses that have pretty decent sized lots. And they're going to strip malls with 5 tenants, or maybe even worse, one big like Walmart or Hy-Vee. And that's a very limited amount of people paying for property taxes when you get strip malls and big box stores. And as we bring people back to the city with all these redevelopments and districts, I think that could relieve taxes in a major way, and I don't think people are really realizing that.
Well, so that again kind of goes back to the Republic. What is the government that we want to have?
Are you endorsed by this book?
I know, right? Plato, thousands of years ago, said, "Man, you in the future." No, but really, that's the beauty that we have. That's what makes America exceptional. Mm-hmm. We can change it.
Yeah,
it isn't set in stone, and we have the ability to advance it in a direction that we feel as we vote is a benefit to us. With Nebraska expansion, one thing I don't like is government elected officials talk about the tax revenue and the revenue base. And well, look, if we're expanding in Douglas County or Sarpy County, we're going to be expanding our revenue base. Well, businesses should be expanding their revenue, mm-hmm. not government.
Right.
Government isn't in the business to expand their revenue and say, "Oh, I'm going to help develop this." But however, there is the natural progressive growth that cities and counties should have, mm-hmm. and I appreciate that. We have to compete. We have to compete against Texas. We have to be bringing the technology here. We are a major fiber backbone because of Offutt, because of SAC, mm-hmm. That we could be bringing the technology businesses here to Omaha. One thing I hear is that there's not a lot to do. So we are redeveloping the downtown area. And a couple of Saturdays ago, I was out past my bedtime at an event, and the energy, it was beautiful at 11:30. Actually, I think it was midnight.
Oh, okay.
It was midnight. I had checked in at home, made sure everything was safe, and let them know I was on my way. But it was beautiful, and I felt completely safe. Absolutely felt safe. So. You know, it's not the role of the government to expand their revenue or grow like a business. They should be there to support people who say, you know what, I want to redevelop the downtown district. I think it can be vibrant, and because I'm doing this, I believe it's going to attract some of the younger generation that want to bring these tech jobs to Omaha. The same way with building out the suburban areas, you know, and the quality of it. The NRD helps with that by building these water basins, by building these reservoirs and the walking trails. And I get it. It's not the NRD's direct purview to build trails and to do these things. However, if we can benefit, and I'd like to see a more private investments into some of these trails. And even or city funding, you know, whoever's going to benefit the most, whether it's a development or whether it is the city, I would like to see them bringing in their money, so we can tax less and look like the heroes, obviously. But no, I don't like the idea of government expanding their revenue base. But I do love the idea of trying to compete against Texas and all the people who are running from California and trying to go somewhere. Right. I do love the idea of Omaha being competitive to bring that market. And one of the ways we have to do that is to reduce the property tax. So those people who came here and love it here don't go and move out to Phoenix. Mm-hmm. So NRD can help both, and that's what I'd like to do when I get there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful kind of summation. It goes back to, again, what you keep saying. It's neighbors helping neighbors. It's the government working together with local development and local developers saying, hey, yeah, this will help everyone. It'll create a newer, fresher downtown while still maintaining the core Midwest values and the beautiful history that our city has. And it'll just kind of bring everyone together in a way that helps also then relieve taxes. And it's just a circle of logic in a way where we look out for someone and then just kind of is a domino or snowball effect of other people getting helped out.
Yeah, the tax relief really has to come down to the questions that the people have for their representatives. Again, we're a republic and we elect our representatives. That means I should just be a microphone on the NRD board for what my constituents want. And hopefully they'll see the skills and abilities that I have as a benefit to the NRD, but ultimately I'm their microphone to represent them. And we got to decide as we're electing people, one through the primaries on May 10th and in November 2nd through the general election, are these people going to go there and make our decisions effectively, accurately, represent us? But are they going to go in and look at those budgets and look at the programs and say, you know what, we don't need these things. because we are overtaxing our people.
Sure.
And we're losing people to other states, and we don't want to do that. And we want to have this inflow. And I hope I trust the voter that we do choose wisely, that whoever we do put in there makes those decisions to reduce the taxes, to help us out, to help our neighbors out, and
Right.
make Nebraska and Omaha and Douglas County a much better place to live.